This is Luke Paulson, the Catholic Conservative, and welcome to the news of the week for
January 13th, 2024.
And if you enjoy these videos, do not forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more.
Ray Epps is uncharged. Let us review exactly what Ray Epps said first.
In fact, tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested.
Well, let's not say it.
We need to go. I'll say it.
All right.
We need to go in.
Shut the fuck up, Boomer.
To the Capitol.
Now, this is just one time that he said this. I was listening to Dan Bongino, and apparently this is just one of multiple instances. Is it possible that he said this to multiple crowds to ensure that people would go in so that more people could be charged?
Only Poppins would know.
Either way, he was finally charged after all of this time because people kept making a stink about it. He even pled guilty to the crimes that the FBI probably told him to commit. Ideally, we need to arrest his bosses as well, but a victory is a victory. Except, he will face 6 months or less for his crimes. That is not a punishment. That is a slap on the wrist. A man who got a tour of the Capitol was locked away longer than that. Now some people who did not follow his instructions are being charged. Arresting more innocents. The Justice Department is looking to arrest people who did not even enter the Capitol. They are just upset that they were not able to get the entire crowd inside. Now just standing on the Capitol lawn is apparently the worst thing that anybody could possibly do. How exactly is this a problem?
Only Poppins would know.
These people did not steal podiums or get tours by the Capitol Police. Now we know that just observing what other people do is a crime. Meanwhile, so many innocent people are still locked away. If these people had burned down buildings, including in Washington, D.C., everything would have been fine for them. They might have even gotten bailed out by cackling Kamala. However, some criminals need to be put away forever. Illegals sent to New Jersey. Officially, Abbott has to stop sending the illegals to New York. Instead, they are being sent to New Jersey, right next to a bus stop that takes them to New York. Technically, Governor Abbott is following the rule. After all, only a president can ship illegals all over the country and not have any consequences. As OMG Media showed, this is specifically to get votes for Brandon in areas that might not be completely blue. Brandon could finish the wall at any point. Brandon could reinstitute the Remain in Mexico policy at any point. However, he cannot do this because he wants to shift demographics. The fake news loved replacement theory until we started calling them out on it. Speaking of trying to shift demographics for votes, illegals over students. Sanctuary cities are feeling just a small part of what border towns have to deal with every day. New York has multiple hotels permanently closed because they are housing all of the illegals that have been sent there. On one hand, I have no sympathy because they created the problem by being a sanctuary city. On the other hand, now the illegals are being housed in a high school in the middle of the school year. The government is even using school buses to transport them. What are the kids supposed to do in the meantime? They are forced to go to remote learning just like they did during the pandemic. The government in New York is literally pushing children out of school just so that they can secure a permanent voting bloc. However, they will not stop there. Mayor Adams wants the illegals to be housed in churches and in private residences. If private residents refuse, he will probably just arrest them and take their house anyway. That is criminal, but considering that Democrats need to win this election, it makes sense. Speaking of which, hotels are evil. It is no secret that the establishment hates President Trump. Their mouthpieces in the media via Operation Mockingbird even take his quotes out of context just to make him look bad.
Oh, how quaint. Actually, I take that back. What a shithole.
Now, in light of all of the evidence from Hunter's former business partner in electronic communications, the fake news is scrambling to find some way to blame President Trump. As usual, the media leaked their plans out early.
No, G. Gordon, we're not holding the United Nations Climate Conference in Bundasa simply because my company owns this hotel. I own hotels in many cities,
Apparently, owning hotels around the world and being a successful businessman is treason. But holding on to classified documents from before you were vice president is apparently just fine. This is getting downright ridiculous. Hunter Biden walks out. Hunter Biden finally got to Congress for his hearing over his father's corruption. As soon as Marjorie Taylor Greene began to ask her question, he walked off. If President Trump or any member of his staff did this, they would be held in contempt and arrested. However, because of the Biden name, he can do whatever he wants. Just a perk of giving 10% to the big guy. Fani has a personal connection. What would you do with $1 million? I'm sure that you have considered that at least once. Something that you could do is spend that money on lavish vacation trips for you and your boyfriend, whom you appointed to be President Trump's persecutor.
Don't you mean prosecutor? No!
That is exactly what Fani Willis did. However, it was not her money, but Georgia tax dollars. One report said that they got into a relationship as soon as divorce proceedings were finalized. How did all of this come up? Her boyfriend's ex subpoenaed Willis. So in the end, their attack on President Trump only increased his popularity, and the case may have to be thrown out because of a legal technicality in how it was done.
Ironic.
Hiding a medical condition. We all know that the Biden administration is hiding the full extent of his mental decline. Someone who is not in a mental decline can find his way off of a stage. But that is another issue for another day. Moving on, Brandon was not made aware that his Secretary of Defense was in the hospital for cancer. Not that he would remember anyway, but the public was not told either. Officially, this is the result of poor communication. As for me, I think it is just that this administration is falling apart as a result of divine judgment. If President Trump was not informed of something like this, the fake news would fixate on it for days on end. The fact remains that they have to play security and remain noble members of Operation Mockingbird. Operation Mockingbird is here to remind you to never question the official narrative. The ER is not for abortion. I want to end this news with perhaps the best article of news that I have heard in a long time. An appeals court has ruled that the emergency room cannot be used for emergency abortions. I'm not a lawyer, nor do I identify as a lawyer, but as I understand, here's the gist. There is a law on the books that if someone has a severe life-threatening emergency and cannot pay, the hospital still has to treat the person. If the person cannot be treated there, the hospital needs to take him where he can get treated. The Biden administration tried to use this law to say that hospitals must kill children for medical care. An appeals court struck this down. Granted, it now may be heard by the Supreme Court and overturned, but I think that we need to just celebrate the small victories that we have whenever we can. For now, you cannot go to the ER to kill your child. Maybe I'm just blowing smoke. Maybe I'm completely off my rocker, but that is just my opinion. And do not forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe for more. But before you go, on the left I have last week's video, but you may also enjoy the video on the right.